Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Good morning, this is Dr. Erin, Doctor of Divinity, teaching universal law and spiritual truth in the heart of La La Land. So, the other day, there was a lady that reached out again, private messaged me on social media. We ended up chatting. We ended up having actually a little call on Messenger. Did you know you can actually call on Messenger? I think it's incredible. Facebook is like taking over the world. It's a little scary on some realms. But she said that she needed a little bit of help. She had actually spent too much money on psychics. And she realized that she needed to no longer put that energy, money, and her beliefs in somebody like a psychic. And it's an interesting conversation because I'll never forget when I was in the ministerial program. It was a deep conversation for us. What is the difference between a psychic and an intuitive? And this is the difference. That an intuitive basically is being guided by spirit, your higher self and their higher self, making decisions for your highest good. And oftentimes as an intuitive, we will be able to read what's going on a subconscious level for someone and basically be able to know what limiting beliefs they're projecting into their future. Whereas a psychic basically reads the subjective mind, the mental pictures that are being projected into the future, and then implants and says, this is what is most likely going to happen. And psychic work is true. So there's some very talented psychics out there, and there's some very untalented psychics out there that are con artists. But the reality is this, is that whether you are a very talented psychic or not, this is my opinion on it. That I believe that doing psychic work is out of spiritual ethics. And the reason why is this. Because if the real reality is that we want to have all potential in the future, meaning that we want your dreams to come true. You're here to align with your destiny, which is your dream. So there is like a destiny. However, if there's anything that is standing in that way and we implant that, meaning, oh, you're going to get this car or this particular relationship's going to come in or da-da-da-da, that is what's called implanting. Because it's not necessarily your destiny. Your destiny is to step into the grandest version of yourself. And whether those things come in, those relationships, those trying times, that it's all designed for your awakening and to step into your highest self. And so psychics, in my opinion, are out of ethics to implant a mental picture or what's going to happen this next year or da-da-da-da-da is really not in the highest good. The highest good is to actually always just expand your consciousness so that you can fully embody your dreams. And your dreams are not about an end result picture. They're about being the best version of yourself and embodying that which you desire to experience in this life. So on that note, today's topic is the art of not knowing. The art of not knowing. You know, oftentimes we try to figure out what's going to happen in the future. We want to know where our relationships are going, what is going to happen in our careers, what's going to happen in our financial future, and on and on. Guess what? If we knew our future, it wouldn't be any fun. This game of life would just be like, you would just know. You could just open a book and go, okay, then this chapter, then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. The entire point and fun of this life is to not know. And to be in that mystery and be able to create as we go along and experience the relativity of arriving to our destiny of our dreams and flailing along the way, right? So we experience angst, fear, or uneasiness, not knowing. But we have to know that when we experience that, if we want to struggle and try and outline and control how things are going to show up, we will experience angst, fear, and uneasiness. And what you need to know and be careful, because when you're feeling those things, you actually are informing your subconscious and universal law, and it has to reflect back those feelings that are backing your life. And so it really is a test of faith. When you understand the divine intelligence within you, you can live in total faith. And so the art of not knowing is so important, because if you aren't comfortable with not knowing, then you're going to have more, trouble along the way, if you will, to your destiny, which is really living out your full dream. So on that note, we know that awakening is a process of waking up and realizing that our consciousness, not just the individual consciousness, but you're connected with the collective consciousness and the cosmic consciousness. And that is creating everything. We have to wake up to that. Number 2 is we have to reprogram the subconscious mind. So we have to release those limiting beliefs of life's not going to work out, or whatever limiting beliefs around having to know things. And then we align with universal law, and we align with our own personal truth, and then we affirm. Number 4 is to affirm every day, and that's what we're doing here every day. So today's universal law is the law of truth. Today we align with the law of truth, and the truth says this: at the core of who you are lives an omnipotent presence that has eternal wisdom. You have eternal wisdom. That lady that went in, she said she went into this psychic first one day, and she gave her a little bit of money, and the psychic, gave her some tidbits of what was going on and like some breadcrumbs. And then the psychic lady said, if you want to know more, you're going to have to pay me a little bit more. So she paid her a little bit more, I think $100 or $200. And then the psychic told her just enough, everything I think some of these con artists, they just know exactly what to say, the pushing of the buttons and the love buttons and all those things and how great you are. But if you really want to know that, movie role you might get, you're going to have to come back with a lot of money. She ended up having to go out, and actually she was like so embarrassed. She's like, I actually went out and I went to the bank and I got like $800 out. It was like a heroin addict, or it was like a gambleaholic, and I had to go back and find out. And she was like, the next day I woke up and felt like the biggest hangover, like, oh my gosh, I've been so duped and so conned by the psychic. So the point is this, is that you no longer have to go to the psychic. You have, at the core of who you are, the law of truth states that at the core of who you are lives an omnipotent presence that has eternal wisdom. Within each cell of your body lives a divine intelligence. You are endowed with intuition and universal guidance. The extent to which you deny this is the extent to which you'll suffer. You will place the power in other people's hands like a psychic, and you will feel disempowered, okay? The truth is your true identity. Truth is your real identity. Do you know that practices like Kundalini Yoga, they say Satnam, and that means truth is your identity. The reality is that spirituality, in my opinion, all work of spiritual work is really shifting the identity to your true self, which is spirit or truth, whatever you want to call it. That's your true identity. That is the hardest work you will ever do, because our identities, we're so caught up in our identities. And a lot of times psychic work is all about that. It's about telling you what your new identity is going to be. And if any psychic ever tries to get you excited about a new identity, a new relationship that defines who your identity is, run as fast as you can. The only work that's here to do for you to step into intuitively is to the highest version of the authentic space that you are. That person that has a unique gift to give to the world. That person that serves and expresses themselves fully, gloriously. And that is never defined by the material stuff that you have, by the relationship status that you have, by any of that stuff. That is all side effects of being and embodying the glorious guru, the glorious goddess, the glorious God that you already are at the core of who you are, okay? And so on that note, today's daily spiritual practice, because every day we have a daily spiritual practice, is to practice staying present, not in the future or in the past, right here, right now. That's your daily spiritual practice. Stay present, not in the future or the past. Just stay right here all day long. Every time you start thinking about the future, what's going to happen, and trying to control, knowing what's going to happen, get present. Stay right here. You have divine wisdom if you stay present. And then today's challenge, because we have this thing called a game of life, today's challenge is to write down the best case and worst case scenario in all areas of your life. dramatize them within your mind and play around with them within your mind. Get comfortable with what could happen or not happen, okay? Write down the best case and worst case scenario in all areas of your life, dramatize them in your mind and play around with them within your mind. Get comfortable with both things. Okay. So if you enjoyed this talk today, this inspirational talk, learning universal laws, this podcast, please like, share, and comment. Please share this with somebody that you feel would benefit. Please give us a great review on iTunes, iHeart, or Google Play. And you can find me at drerin.tv. You can find me at Erin Fall Haskell. I'm across all social media as Dr. Erin. You can find me at drerinshow.com. I'm on Focus TV Network and all media-driven stuff, you guys. So have a divine day, and I know today is a day to step into your intuition, and may you live your truth.